They will tell you that freedom comes from status, from wealth, from rank, from the world bending its knees before your desires. But Epictetus knew something different, something most people are too frightened to admit. Freedom has nothing to do with what you own. Freedom begins when nothing owns you. Epictetus was born a slave. He owned nothing. Not his name, not his body, not his time, not even the permission to speak when he wished. And yet, he became one of the freest men who ever lived, because he understood a truth that emperors never grasped. If your mind is yours, then everything else is negotiable. If your mind is not yours, then nothing else matters. He lived in chains, but he thought with clarity. He walked behind masters, but he spoke like a king. He was struck, insulted, controlled, but he never surrendered the one territory every tyrant desires, his inner world. Epictetus learned early that suffering is inevitable, but slavery is a choice. Not physical slavery, the world can impose that, but the deeper slavery, the slavery of reaction, of ego, of fear, of needing things outside yourself to feel whole. He refused that slavery, and that refusal changed everything. He said, "You may fetter my leg, but not even Zeus himself can control my will." Think about that. A man with nothing claimed the one thing most people never claim: sovereignty over himself. He discovered that true power comes from a single discipline: to separate what you control from what you do not. To let the uncontrollable pass through you like wind through open fingers. To focus your life on the narrow gate of things you can actually command. Your judgment, your choices, your principles, your response. Epictetus understood that the world is full of storms, and most people spend their lives screaming at the clouds. They demand that nature obey them. They rage when the rain falls. They curse fate when the wind shifts. They panic when circumstances break their expectations. But Epictetus did not fight storms. He became the captain who sails them. The navigator who uses winds others fear. He did not demand the world change. He changed his posture toward it. His question was always the same: what part of this situation is mine to govern? And he acted on only that. Everything else, the insults, the chaos, the losses, the betrayals, he released. This made him dangerous, because a man who cannot be controlled from the outside is unpredictable. A man who answers only to his own discipline threatens every system built on compliance. His master could break his body, but never his dignity. His owners could dictate his tasks, but not his values. They could silence his voice, but not his understanding. That is why Epictetus walked out of slavery freer than many kings ever were. That is why his students, some of them senators and generals, came to him seeking strength. Not strength of arm, strength of mind. He taught them a principle most people spend their lives avoiding. Suffering is multiplied by the stories we tell about it. Pain is real, but the mind builds narratives that make the pain unbearable. The event is sharp, but the imagination is cruel. The insult is brief, but the ego turns it into a wound that lasts years. The loss is immediate, but the story becomes lifelong grief. Epictetus taught, when something happens, the only thing that matters is your judgment of it, and your judgment is yours alone. This is the secret of the Stoics. You don't control events, but you control their meaning. And whoever controls meaning controls their life. Epictetus lived this. He did not write for admiration. He did not speak for applause. He did not craft philosophy for comfort. He crafted it for survival. He said, "We suffer not from the events of our lives, but from our opinions about them." And when you understand this, you begin to see how much unnecessary suffering you carry, how many battles you fight that exist only in your interpretation, how often you let your thoughts torment you more than the reality ever could. Epictetus believed you must discipline your mind like a soldier, train it as relentlessly as an athlete trains their body, sharpen it the way a craftsman sharpens a blade, slowly, daily, without spectacle. Most people let their minds wander like untrained dogs, snapping at every worry, barking at every disturbance, biting at every fear. Epictetus trained his mind to sit, to remain, to stay focused. And that single skill, mental obedience, made him unbreakable. He taught that life is a stage. You are assigned a role: slave, master, soldier, beggar, parent, ruler, outcast. You do not choose the role, but you choose how to perform it. And the excellence of the performance is in your control. He told his students, "Do not seek to have events happen as you wish. Wish them to happen as they do, and you will be calm." This is not resignation. This is tactical acceptance, an advantage few ever develop. When you stop demanding the world obey your desires, you gain the energy to shape yourself. And when you shape yourself, you shape your destiny. Epictetus transformed his suffering into strategy. He used limitation as a furnace to forge character. He turned powerlessness into mastery. He turned silence into insight. He turned pain into discipline. He lived by one principle: you cannot always choose your life, but you can always choose your courage. And that is why his teachings outlived empires. When insulted, he said, "If a person tells you you're a donkey, laugh. If 10 people tell you you're a donkey, buy a saddle." Meaning, don't react to opinion, but use patterns to learn. When someone stole from him, Epictetus said, "I'm grateful he took only that, and not what truly matters, because no thief can steal character, discipline, or wisdom. They can take gold, but not greatness." When asked how to remain unshaken, he answered, "Remember that you are only an actor in a drama. If it is short, then short. If long, then long. If your role is to suffer, then suffer well. If your role is to lead, lead well. If your role is to die, die well." To Epictetus, mastery was not glory. It was posture. It was how you stand when the world pushes you from all sides. It was how you breathe when life tightens its grip. It was how you walk when the path is not yours to choose. He believed that the greatest victory is victory over the self. Not applause, not approval, not riches, not conquest. But the moment when you look at your own mind and know, this is mine, this is under command. So many people today live as internal slaves. Slaves to moods, slaves to distractions, slaves to cravings, slaves to the opinions of strangers, slaves to the fear of being disliked, slaves to the hunger for validation, slaves to anxieties that never existed outside their own imagination. Epictetus would call this the deepest form of bondage. He would say, "You have chained yourself with your own judgments. Break the chains." He taught that to be free, you must be ruthless with what you allow inside your mind. Let insults fall like rain on stone. Let fear speak but not command. Let desire whisper but never lead. Let uncertainty exist without destroying your peace. He believed discipline is freedom. Consistency is freedom. Clarity is freedom. Self-restraint is freedom. And the greatest freedom of all is the ability to walk away from anything that enslaves your inner life. Epictetus was living proof. A man who had nothing became one of the most influential teachers in history, not because he changed his circumstances, but because he changed their meaning. His life teaches this: you can be born in chains and still die a free man. You can be raised in luxury and die a prisoner. Freedom is not the province of the fortunate. It is the achievement of the disciplined. So ask yourself, what owns you? Who controls your emotions? What triggers your reactions? What fears dictate your decisions? What comforts have become invisible cages? Where have you surrendered your sovereignty? Epictetus would say, when something can disturb your peace, you have given it more power than it deserves. Reclaim that power. Master your inner world so absolutely that no one can pull you like a puppet. No event can corner you. No person can shake you. No failure can break you. No success can enslave you. This is the legacy of Epictetus, a man who mastered the one kingdom he could rule, himself. And if he could do it in chains, you can do it in freedom. Be the master of your mind. Be the commander of your reactions. Be the architect of your thoughts. Be the guardian of your peace. Because the world cannot imprison a man who has liberated himself. And that is what Epictetus lived for.